All right, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel, and today we got some brand new cards to look at that got revealed in Destined Rivals this past weekend. Some of these new cards are actually looking like really good, like game-changing, format-saving cards in my opinion. So I'm definitely excited to look at the new Destined Rivals cards. I'm not gonna lie, the Destined Rivals cards that we've seen have been a lot better than what Journey Together gave us. So this set is already looking like a massive improvement over Journey Together in terms of new competitive cards, and I'm really excited for the set to release. It comes out on May 30th, so we are like almost a month away from the set dropping. And like I said, there's a lot of bangers within this set. And of course, if y'all are new here to the second channel, make sure to subscribe down below. We're on the road to 23K subs. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about these new cards revealed. And are you excited for Destined Rivals? I'll be interested to hear in the comment section below. So, new cards to look at here. I'll start off with the grass Pokemon. There is a new Breloom. Doesn't really do anything too crazy, though. We do have a new Rotom, which is another tool drop attacker with Gadget Show. For 2 colorless energy, does 30 damage for each tool card on all of your Pokemon. So it's kind of like the Pachirisu we had in Brilliant Stars, did the same thing. There's no Honchkrow V in the format, which would make this attack a lot better. I think the Garbodor is probably just a better card. There's a Garbodor from Paradox Rift that I think is just stronger than Rotom. But, you know, the classic tool drop deck wants to come back. There is a Rotom in the format to help it. This new Lurantis here, it's got the attack Flower Cutting Dance for 1 grass energy, just 130 damage, but then you have to discard 2 basic grass from your hand to do the attack. It's like, okay, I mean, you have retrieval and stuff in the format to make this work, but other than that, it's like a perfectly fine attack. Nothing too crazy. 130 damage is like not a whole lot of damage, though, which is kind of the problem. We got the Spidops line. We've already seen that, obviously, but we do have a brand new EX here that did get revealed. The Arboliva EX. I don't think I've ever done a video on a Pokemon. I don't think I've ever done a video on this Pokemon at all on the channel, so I apologize I didn't pronounce it properly, but it does have 2 attacks. The first attack for a Grass Energy, Oil Machine Gun. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon 6 times and do 20 damage to it. You can choose the same Pokemon more than once. That's interesting. So, I guess, like, what you can do is, like, you can just be like, oh, I want to do 40 here, 40 here, 20 there. That's interesting. It's interesting, like, damage spread. Yeah, it looks like you can choose multiple Pokemon. Judging from how it's worded, it's not a bad attack. For 1 grass energy, too, is, like, pretty solid. This also... No, Shaman does block this. Okay, I was like, yeah, Shaman does block this attack, which, you know, is kind of relevant, obviously, when Shaman does come out in this set also. But you do the attack Aroma Shot for 3 colorless energy, does 160 damage. This Pokemon recovers from all special conditions. Nothing too crazy there. If you're going to play this card, it's going to be that first attack, which is interesting. It's an interesting first attack. You know, maybe it could be good. Maybe in like a Frost last attack or something, this could be like a pretty cool attacker to have. All right, new Arcanine. It's got the attack Punishing Fangs. This is 100 damage. Your opponent's active is a dark Pokemon. 100 more damage. Okay, so 200 damage to a dark Pokemon. I mean, you're not really knocking that much stuff out, though. Like, you're not killing Roaring Moon. You're not even killing Pheasantipity. That's crazy. Pheasantipity doesn't even get knocked out. It lives with 10 HP, bro. Broken card. We've seen the Moltres EX already. This new Team Rocket's Houndoom here. It's got Malicious Embers. Your opponent's active is Burning Confused. And then you got Scorching Fire. 120 for 2. Yeah, pretty vanilla card there. We have seen this new Blaziken, which I've already looked at. We do have a Heat Rotom here with Gadget Show. Same thing. Has a tool drop attack. So it looks like all the Appliance Rotoms are going to have tool drop, which is pretty cool. You know, different typing can be relevant, right? You have a grass and a fire tool drop, and I'm assuming there's a water one in the set, too. It's kind of cool. Seen the Articuno. We've read the Huntail and Gorbis already. There's new Abomasnow here. It's got the attack that does 120 damage. This Pokemon has 2 or more grass energy on it. It does 120 more. It's a little costly. I don't think this card is good. I want some good Abomasnow cards. It's a really cool Pokemon. And yeah, here we go. We got the Wash Rotom with Gadget Show. Once again, 30 damage. Free Tool on all of your Pokemon. Yeah, like I said, same thing. There's a new Barraskewda here with the attack. Dive to water to 60 damage. You flip a coin of heads during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon. I mean, there's not really a way to reflip the attack, and it only does 60 damage. So the Barraskewda is like kind of mid overall, I would say. We've already seen the Titan EX. It's a pretty cool new card. Primal Groudon 2.0. We've read Zapdos. Read the new Ampharos. But we do have a brand new Team Rocket Hypno here to look at here. So for 3 Psychic Energy, Bench Manipulation does 80 times. Your opponent flips a coin for each of their bench Pokemon. The attack does 80 damage for each Tails. Now that's kind of crazy, actually. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So it looks like that's only on the active, though. It's not like on the bench. Like, you're not doing 8 damage to each Pokemon. That'd be a little absurd. So it looks like if your opponent has 5 bench Pokemon, they have to flip 5 coins, and you can potentially do 80 times for each Tails. If there's a Area 0 in play, that's 8 coins you get to flip. Yo, that's kind of broken. Now, obviously, you need to get Tails. I don't know, that's interesting. This will be a fun Bad Deck Friday deck, I'll tell you that. I'm excited to do a video on Team Rocket's Hypno for Bad Deck Friday. This is like Bad Deck Friday in a nutshell, in my opinion. Coin flip attack, that's like super jank. Yo, Bad Deck Friday, I told you. All right, Team Rocket's Mewtwo, we've already seen that. We've already seen the Rocket's Wobbuffet. There's a new Chingling here. Ringing noise for no energy. Discard a random card from your opponent's hand. I mean, okay, to be fair, the baby Pokemon have been okay so far. Cleffa and Budew obviously being the 2 main ones. I mean, it's not the worst attack ever. Combine that with Unfair Stamp, bro. Broken attack? Nah, it's like probably not that good, but it doesn't do any damage. If it did damage, maybe. We got Team Rocket's Mimikyu here. So this kind of caused a little bit of an commotion when they revealed this card originally, because they blocked out half of the text in the attack, so people thought it was something else. But it's got the attack Gem Mimikyu. Choose an attack on your opponent's active Terra Pokemon, and you use it as the effect of the attack. So you're just copying Terra Pokemon. It's like Mew EX, but only for Terras. You can copy Cornerstone, Dragapult, Charizard. To be fair, that's not terrible, get it? But I don't think this card is, like, super amazing. Like, if you're gonna, like, I don't know, maybe it'll see playing Gardevoir. Probably not, though. It's only got 6 HP. So, like, against Dragapult, you don't want to have a 6 HP Pokemon. Like, I know you can copy Phantom Dive. You can knock out Dragapult with a Mimikyu Clefairy combo. But yeah, it's nothing too crazy. If it was obviously any Pokemon that would be a little too broken, I think we've had a Mimikyu before that did something similar, or maybe even did that exact attack. Terra Pokemon, I mean, there's a decent amount of them in the format. It's not like Terra Pokemon suck. I mean, Dragapult's right there, but it's, like, fine. Could have been better. We do have a Team Rocket's Orbeetle here with the ability Rocket Brain. As often as you like, during your turn, you may move 1 damage counter from one of your Team Rocket's Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. So this is kind of like the Reuniclus from the Black and White era. So what that Pokemon did is you got to move any damage from your Pokemon to your Pokemon any way you like. So let's say you have, like, a really beefy Pokemon in the active spot with 280 HP, like the Mewtwo. They do, like, 200 damage to you. You can take all that 200 damage and then move it to your bench in any way you like. And you could play something like Dash Bunny X to fully heal your entire board. It's pretty cool. It's a great ability. These type of abilities have always been pretty solid in the TCG, and again, we've seen that on the Reuniclus before. So this Team Rocket's Orbeetle definitely could see some play. And then it's got the attack Psychic, does 40 damage, plus 40 more damage for each energy on your opponent's active. So it's got, like, a pretty solid attack and a decent ability. So yeah, I do like this Orbeetle. It'll be fun to experiment with, for sure. I don't know if you're going to be able to fit it in the Mewtwo deck, because you need the Spidops in play and stuff, but the ability is pretty strong. Especially if you can find a way to heal it. New Annihilate, we've already looked at that. But we're getting another Tyranitar. So, speaking of Pokemon we have a lot of Annihilates. Now we have a lot of Tyranitars. There's another Tyranitar in this set. It's a Team Rocket's Tyranitar, so it's technically not a Tyranitar, but it's a Tyranitar. Team Rocket's Tyranitar is what it's called. It's got the ability Sandstream. As long as it's in the active spot, put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's basic Pokemon during Pokemon Checkup. So, this is kind of similar to abilities we've seen in the past on an old Flygon, that when it was in the active spot, you put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon. The ability is also very similar to an old Weezing from Unbroken Bonds. I was a big fan of that Weezing card, so I'm kind of glad that they're bringing back the Weezing in some shape or form with this Team Rocket's Tyranitar. It's not a bad ability. Now, obviously, the downside about Tyranitar is it is a Stage 2 Pokemon. Weezing was a Stage 1, which is what made it so flexible. It had a pretty decent attack that worked for 1 energy attachment. Tyranitar's attack does 180 damage for 4 energy, and then you discard energy from your opponent's active. It's, like, decent. The ability is really strong, but the attack is a little too costly. This could be okay, though. I think the item lock Tyranitar is just the better Tyranitar. If you want to play a 1-price Tyranitar deck, just play the item lock one. But this one's, like, not terrible either. The ability is cool. It might be better in, like, a hit and run deck, though, in all honesty. All right. Moving on. We got Probopass here. Mountain Drop, 70 damage. Stay in play, 70 more damage. And not really crazy. There's a new Medicham here. It's got the attack for Fire Energy, does 50 damage, plus if this Pokemon and your opponent's active Pokemon have the same amount of energy on them, does 120 more damage. So you do 170 for 1 energy, which is, like, okay. Nothing to write home about. New Regirock, we've already looked at that. There's a new Team Rocket's Arbok. Now, this one is actually really interesting. It's got the ability Intimidating Glare. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent can't play any Pokemon cards with abilities from their hand, excluding the Team Rocket's Pokemon. So that ability is very powerful, right? Being able to shut off your opponent from playing abilities is nuts. Now, it has to be in the active spot. So obviously, if it was in play, it'd be a little too broken, but it has to be in the active. Now, like I said, you could play this in like a hit and run style deck, like with the Selgor, Flygon EX, something like that. What other hit and run Pokemon exist that I can't think of off the top of my head? But yeah, it's not a bad ability for sure. Like that's a really annoying ability if you pair that with like Unfair Stamp. You can like really lock your opponent. You're preventing them from being able to play stuff like Noctowl from their hand. Really crazy ability for sure. And then attack Spinning Tail for 3 Dark Energy, does 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Yeah, the ability alone is what's going to make this card like decent. It does have a 2 retreat, so you do have to manage its 2 retreat cost in a hit and run deck, but the ability, like I said, is fairly strong for sure, and you can do a lot of damage with it. We do have a Rockets Nidoqueen line. By the way, this is a really nice artwork on this Nidoran, by the way. But yeah, we have a new Team Rockets Nidoqueen, and looks like a Nidoking also. So it's got the attack Love Impact for 1 Dark Energy, does 60 damage. If you have any benched Pokemon with a Nidoking in its name, you do 120 more damage. So 180 damage for 1 energy ain't too shabby. If you have a Nidoking in play. And then the Nidoking here, we got the Nidoking EX. So yeah, another new EX here. Nidoking EX, another Dark type Team Rocket EX card. It's got the attack Dirty Horns for 2 Dark and a Colorless Energy. Does 100 damage. Then your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Then during checkup, you put 8 damage on instead of 1. That's like decent. You can stack that with Perilous Jungle to do, 100 poison damage, which is actually kind of insane. Building this guy up isn't too hard. It's a Rockets Pokemon. You can put Team Rockets energy on it. And then it's got the attack King's Impact for 240 damage. It's like fine. 240 is a pretty solid number to hit. You're not going to have Raging Bolts and stuff, which is pretty cool. Not terrible. I don't know how good the Nidoking is overall, but the first attack can be very powerful in combination with Perilous Jungle. So we'll see on that one. It's like a fine card. I don't think it's like super competitive, but it's decent for sure. I've seen the Crobat line already. We got a new Team Rockets Muck here with the attack Sticky Mess. Does 40 damage for 2 energy, or Dark and a Colorless. And then your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused, and then they also cannot retreat. That's a pretty decent like attack. I mean, confusion is annoying, and then also being able to stop your opponent from retreating is also fairly powerful. Could be good. Then we got the attack Venom Hazard. Does 100 damage times each special condition on your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's one of those attacks where, yeah, you got to find a way to stack special conditions. There's already Brew Bonnet in the format, and there's Dangerous Laser, which is another way you can put damage or special conditions on them to do like 300 plus damage with this Muck out of nowhere. All right. Seeing the Weezing. Team Rocket's Murkrow here got revealed. Swindle, search check for Sporter, put in your hand, and then Torment, 30 damage. Choose one of their attacks, and they can't use it the next turn. Works with Team Rocket energy, but the Murkrow cannot be searched out via Buddy Poffin. We've seen the Sneasel already. We have a new Fortress here, and then it's got the attack Iron Shake. Colorless Energy does 20 damage. Move any number of Metal Energy from your Pokemon to your other Pokemon any way you like. Then Hurricane Needle, 80 damage. Flip 4 coins, 80 for each heads. Meh. Nothing really too crazy there. New Zamazenta coming out. New 1-prize Zamazenta with the attack Strong Bash for 2 metals and a Colorless Energy. Does 70 damage. During your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, even if it's knocked out, put damage counters on the attacking Pokemon equal to the damage done to this Pokemon. We've seen attacks like this before, so if you do this and your opponent does like overkill damage to you by like 200 damage, well, they're going to take that much damage back, which is pretty funny. But overall, I don't see the Zam being very good. Maybe in like a Matang toolbox deck, I guess. Like, it's a decent attack, but your opponent can also play around it, obviously, which is the other problem. Unless it's like Charizard EX, where they have to always be doing like a strict amount of damage. Rocket's Raticate here. Recklessness, 9 damage. 50 coins, both tails. Does 9 to itself. Okay, well, nothing too crazy there. We got the Team Rockets Meowth to go with, obviously, the Persian. We've seen that. The Persian is really fun. New Kangaskhan, nothing crazy. We've seen the Porygon Z. Swellow, nothing crazy there. It's a new 1-price Squawkabilly, but also nothing crazy. But we do have some more items and trainers to look at here. Starting off with the Team Rockets Intruder Bot. Choose one of your opponent's face-down prize cards and discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals those cards. You may have your opponent switch the reveal cards, which is kind of interesting. So, however, the effect is the prize card remains face up the rest of the game, so your opponent can always see it. It's an interesting little, like, meme-type disruption card. Discarding a random card from your opponent's hand is, like, not a bad effect, though, obviously, right? And getting prize knowledge on your opponent's side can be kind of relevant in some scenarios. Like, knowing that your opponent prized a specific card can actually make you play different. Especially, like, what if they reveal their ace spec? Your opponent reveals those cards. You may have your opponent switch the reveal cards. It's an interesting effect for sure. I mean, discard a random card alone is obviously strong. Combine this with Grabber. You can put your opponent down to a pretty low hand size out of nowhere, which is pretty funny. Not bad. Team Rocket's receiver, search check for support of the Rocket in its name, put in your hand. I think we've already seen that before. I think that might be about it. No, we do have, okay, we have 2 stadiums. Now, this one is probably the most impactful of the 2 stadiums. Team Rocket's Watchtower. Both players' colorless Pokemon in play have no abilities. That is really good. Now, there is a ton of Pokemon this card shuts off. This is a game-changing card for sure. This is like a Path of the Peak style stadium, but only for, colorless Pokemon. But there's a lot of them in the format, especially that it shuts off Noctowl, Fan Rotom, Pidgeotty X, and Blood Moon Ursaluna, to name a few. That is a very strong effect. Shutting off colorless Pokemon abilities is really, really good. Like I said, you are shutting off some pretty strong cards. Mainly the Noctowl engine. All those like Noctowl engine decks are now going to get a lot weaker because of Watchtower. They have to have a preemptive Area 0 in their hand. Like imagine playing against Terrabox, going unfair stamp Team Rocket's Watchtower. That's kind of broken. Like, what are they gonna do? They're like, oh, good luck getting out of that hand lock. Pretty insane card. Also, like if Pidgeotty X starts to make a comeback in the format somehow, this card immediately gets better against Pidgeot. Iono, Pidgeot, Watchtower could be pretty annoying. Blood Moon or Soluna gets shut off. Another pretty big card. Like in the late game, if you're scared of losing to a Blood Moon, you can always slam the stadium card down, Iono your opponent to a low hand size, and all of a sudden that Blood Moon threat is no longer really there. And there's other colorless Pokemon it does shut off too, but those are like the main ones that get shut off. There's also the fact you can play this with Slacking EX. You can shut off its own ability, so Slacking can attack even if your opponent doesn't have any rule box type Pokemon in play, which is actually really cool too. So definitely a very powerful card. One of the big cards from the set, in my opinion. This is definitely a game changer for sure. This card will probably see a decent amount of play because it's like ability lock stadiums have always been very good, and this one is very good as there are a ton of good colorless Pokemon in the format. So another stadium here, Team Rocket's Factory. Once during either player's turn when that player plays a supporter with Team Rocket in their hand, they can draw 2 cards. That's not a bad effect. I mean, if you're playing like an all-Rocket deck and you're playing these other Rocket supporter cards like the Proton, the Petrol, and Giovanni even, which is like Guzma for Rocket's Pokemon, drawing 2 more cards ain't terrible. Definitely not a bad stadium. Both stadiums are like pretty good. Obviously, the Watchtower is like the better of the 2. Watchtower is a universal stadium card. But Factory isn't bad either if you're playing a Team Rocket deck. So probably going to be like the optimal stadium to have within the Mewtwo deck. And yeah, those are all of the cards revealed within Destined Rivals. However, there are more cards that got revealed. Now, the thing is, I don't know if they're going to be in Destined Rivals, which is the problem. We're going to take a look at them anyways, because one of them specifically is going to be a bit of a game changer. So yeah, we got these new gym promo cards. There's only like a couple of them, but the ones that got revealed are pretty insane, like the Psyduck. Now, this Pokemon card, in my opinion, is a huge game changer. It's got the ability Damp. Each player's Pokemon that have an ability that knocks that Pokemon out does not have that ability. So basically what the Psyduck does, when it's in play, your opponent's Magneton and Dusclops and Dusknoir cannot be used at all. Those abilities will not work when Damp is in effect, which is insanely good. Now, I'm somebody who's been very vocal about my disliking for the Dusknoir engine. I think the Dusknoir engine is toxic. I think it's very not fair and balanced. And in combination with Budew, you can really abuse the Dusknoir engine. Like, Budew Dusknoir is like a pretty absurd combo, right? When you can stop your opponent from being able to, set up their board pretty efficiently with Budew, and you can just sit there and build up Dusknoirs and then just nuke their board, it's really unfair. And it's not fun to play against. I mean, after this weekend, specifically in Atlanta, there's already been a ton of people talking about should Budew be banned. I'm probably going to do a video talking about that very soon here, maybe even tomorrow. I do want to make a video talking about the Budew ban discussion that's been going on right now within the community. But one of the things that makes Budew so broken, in my opinion, is just Dusknoir existing in the format. So having an anti-Dusknoir card is good. Now, I still think maybe Dusknoir should just get banned. Like, I mean, the card is just not healthy for the game, period. Like, I know you can print a hard counter like Psyduck. I'm still not a big fan of Dusknoir. I personally just want to see Dusknoir just banned from the format. I think that card is just super toxic, shouldn't exist at all. But you know what? I'll take the Psyduck. If they're not going to ban Dusknoir, obviously I like Psyduck. And I think this card is super good. It genuinely could save the format. It's buddy poffinable, so you can poffin for it, put it down immediately. It can't get KO'd by Dragapult's Phantom Dive unless they Haluchi you, which is also pretty good. There's a Golduck 2 to go with it, with the same ability. So if you really wanted to, you can play this package. You can go Psyduck, and then you can evolve in a Golduck, and then all of a sudden, the Golduck isn't getting KO'd as easily by Phantom Dive. So yeah, I'm really happy to see these 2 cards get printed. It is nice they gave the Psyduck the ability, because if you have one Golduck in play with the ability, they go Counter Catcher, KO Golduck, and then they get the ability back. You can just go like Night Stretcher for the Psyduck, rebench it, and then block the ability again. I don't know, I'm really glad they printed anti-Dusknoir cards, for sure. Like, just Dusknoir definitely needed some kind of counter, because it's just too good of an ability, especially with Budu in the format. Um, we'll talk more about, I guess, more of that in like the potential Budu ban discussion video I want to make. There's a new Team Rocket's Kangaskhan EX. There's already a Kangaskhan EX in the format, but now we got a Team Rockets one. It's got the attack Comet Punch, does 30 damage, you flip 4 coins, 30 for each heads, and then you got the attack at Dark Impact for 3 colorless energy, does 120 plus damage. If you play a supporter with Team Rocket in its name from your hand this turn, do 100 more damage. So, yeah, you get to do 220 damage if you play a Rocket supporter. Not terrible. This is a colorless Pokemon. You can play with Team Rocket's energy to build it up, and you can play with Bouffalant, it looks like, which actually makes this card kind of decent. So it does have some cool combos within the format already, which is kind of sick. And then finally, the last card to look at, Team Rocket's Hypnosis Device, which is a tool card. If the Team Rocket's Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack, even if it's knocked out, the attack Pokemon is then asleep. I guess that's, like, okay. The problem is, though, you're putting them to sleep going into your turn. So you'd have to play this with something like that Muck, obviously. I feel like it's not, like, the greatest tool ever, but it is interesting, nonetheless. It'd be a lot better if you could put your opponent to sleep going into their turn, obviously, but that'd be a little too good. But, you know, it is what it is. If your opponent flips double tails and they stay asleep, broken card, but probably not going to see a whole lot of play of, like, an actual, like, tool people want to use. More of, like, it's going to combo with, like, other attacks. But there you go, folks. Those are the new cards revealed. Again, I don't know if these cards will be in Destined Rivals. I mean, I hope they are. Because, I mean, I would really want to see the Psyduck and Golduck printed ASAP. So, it'd be nice if we got these right away. It says here that they usually can take about 6 months for these gym promos to release in English, but I do feel like they printed these Psyduck and Golduck cards, like, immediately so that they can nerf the Dusknors. And after this weekend, I think maybe they'll reconsider putting these cards in Destined Rivals, which they probably should do. It would also be really weird just to get Team Rocket's cards in, like, a future set if there's no more Team Rocket cards after Destined Rivals. So hopefully they just put all 4 of these cards in Destined Rivals, call it a day. Give us that Dusknor counter right away so that we don't have to deal with Dusknor's crap anymore. But there you go, folks. Those are the new cards revealed within Destined Rivals, the remaining of the set. A lot of cool new cards. The new Stadium and Psyduck obviously being, like, the 2 big ones. A couple new EX cards. Some interesting stuff. Nothing, like, insane in Destined Rivals got revealed, other than those promo cards, which might not even be in the set. But I'm excited for the set to come out. It is going to be a very promising set. There's a lot of really good cards in Destined Rivals. It's one of the best competitive sets we might have seen in quite a while, in my opinion. Because, like, both sets, Heatwave Arena and Destined and Glory of Team Rocket, were, like, very good sets. So really excited for the set's release, man. It's going to be a lot better than Journey Together, and hope you're all excited, too. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Let me know what you think of these cards down below in the comment section. What do you think of the Psyduck card? Do you think it's good for the game? What else? What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, subscribe down below, and I'll leave a link to PokeBeach. Check out the article for yourself, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.